If you are struggling with sugar cravings and you would like some simple solutions, you clicked on the right video. Hi, I'm Dr. Cori Stern. Welcome to my channel. Take control of your health. If you want fabulous health information that's true and functional and useful, please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. If you like this video at the end, please hit the like button so more people can find it. And last and most importantly, please make sure to share this with anyone that you think might benefit from the information. So let's get started with today's topic, sugar cravings. One of the most common problems people come to see me about. And let's talk first about what sugar is and why is it bad? What's wrong with having sugar cravings? So sugar is a macronutrient. It's called a carbohydrate. And I'm not going to go into all the science behind what exactly carbohydrate is, but let's talk about what foods are carbohydrates. So there's two different kinds. There's complex carbohydrates and there are simple carbohydrates. The difference being that complex carbohydrates digest more slowly and break down into sugar more slowly versus simple carbohydrates, which turn into sugar very quickly and can elevate your blood sugar. So let's say that and sugar, by the way, is used by your cells for energy. So let's just say that you need, I'm just making something up here. Let's say you need 10 units of energy and you eat 20 units of simple carbohydrates, which turn into sugar really fast in your digestive tract. And then that sugar ends up going into your blood, which is called glucose, and it travels around to the cells that need it for energy. But if you only needed 10 and you ate 20, then the extra 10 that you're not able to use, first of all, will cause a rise in your blood sugar, which is known as, over time, diabetes, if your blood sugar gets too high. And secondly, it will eventually be converted to fat and you'll gain weight. That's one of the reasons why carbohydrates cause weight gain. If you ate a more complex carbohydrate, it would break down more slowly and it would, let's say you would have the 10 units that you needed to burn right now. And then in a little while, you'll have another 10. So your body has a chance to utilize it, right? So that's why complex carbohydrates are in theory better than simple carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are foods that are higher in fiber. So foods like vegetables and fruits and whole grains are complex carbohydrates, whole grain, unprocessed grains, which most people eat processed grains, right? If you're eating bread that's made out of wheat, which is a grain, but it's highly processed. It's not really a complex carbohydrate. The simple carbohydrates are things like actual sugars, anything that has sugar added to it, processed food that has any kind of sugar added to it, table sugar, things, sugar that you add into your, let's say your coffee or tea, honey, maple syrup, anything that is actually sugar. If something's very sweet, it's a simple carbohydrate and turns into glucose in your blood very quickly. Okay, so now if you eat a complex carbohydrate, let's say vegetables along with some fat, the fat will slow down your body's digestion of it. It'll slow down the conversion of the food into glucose. So if you are going to be eating things like whole grains, let's say brown rice, you should add a good fat to it. You should add some good quality butter or some good quality oil. Now, do you actually need carbohydrates to survive? There's a big question. There's a lot of controversy about this. So there's evidence to suggest that the human body is biologically designed to mostly eat animal protein. So it's called nose to tail eating, where you eat every single part of the animal and you get a lot of rich nutrients by doing that. And you also get a lot of good quality fat. So eating entire animal is mostly you're eating fat and protein. There's evidence to suggest that this is how early humans ate. They mostly ate an entire animal, and then maybe they did a little foraging. Maybe there were berries growing or some herbs or some kind of greens that they would pick and use, but it's likely they ate very little of that. Very little, because before there was organized farming, it wasn't easily available. And I have a video about this where I interviewed a medical anthropologist who did a study on early human bones and health markers. And then she studied bones throughout history of humans and their health markers, and actually showed evidence that the earliest humans who ate primarily a carnivore diet were healthier. Their bones were stronger, their teeth were better, they didn't show signs of illness, versus when grains were introduced into the human diet. So those bones showed evidence of disease, more disease, and it got progressively worse. Now, of course, there's so much processed carbohydrate products on the market that there's no question that they cause disease, and the worst one being high fructose corn syrup. So that is a terrible sugar. It is extremely toxic. It causes liver damage and other problems in your body. So you need to avoid that one at all costs. Now, why is eating sugar not so good for you? Few reasons. Number one, sugar feeds pathogens. Pathogens feed on sugar, fungus, yeast, bacteria, viruses, parasites. So if you have anything like that going on in your body and you're eating sugar, you're making your body a very hospitable environment for these pathogens to hang out, right? Your body is like a hotel where they're being served food that they want. So that's one reason why it's not good. Another reason is a high sugar diet is inflammatory. And if you already have inflammation going on, which is causing problems in your health, then eating sugar is just making it worse. So if you compare your body to a house on fire, the fire being the inflammation, the first thing that you have to do is stop feeding the fire, right? So stop eating the inflammatory foods, which sugar is number one. And then once you stop feeding the fire, you can put it out. And that's where I can help you if you need help with that. Do a consult with you, a virtual consult. I can figure out how to put out your fire, reduce your inflammation. And then once you've done that, you can clean up the mess in there, the debris that got left behind, and then you can rebuild your body house and have a healthier version of it. So that's really mostly what I do all the time with patients. The next reason why sugar is bad for you is because it actually competes with other nutrients to get into your cells. So if you're eating, let's say you're eating really nutrient-dense dinner, filled with good quality protein and fat, and maybe you had some mineral-rich vegetables, and then you chase it down with a sugary dessert. The sugar in the dessert is going to literally get into a fight with the nutrients in your nutrient-dense dinner, and there's only so much room for them to attach to the cell receptors and get inside. And guess who's going to win? Sugar. Sugar is going to win that fight. So sugar literally stops nutrients from being uptaken by your cells, and it kicks nutrition out of your body. Okay, so think of it that way. And the next reason that sugar is bad is, as I mentioned earlier, it causes weight gain. And if you are not wanting to gain weight, then you shouldn't be eating sugar. If you do want to gain weight, eating sugar is not the best way to do it. And we could talk about that on another video. And then, of course, lastly, eating too much sugar can cause diabetes because your blood sugar becomes elevated when you're eating more sugar than your body can utilize for energy. So just getting back to the, well, what should I eat? If you do want to keep carbohydrates in your diet, then you should just be eating complex carbs, maybe some vegetables, some green vegetables, and maybe some low sugar fruits. So berries are pretty relatively low in sugar. 1 cup of strawberries has 5 grams of sugar compared to, let's say, 1 medium banana, which can have 20-25 grams of sugar. So stick with the berries and the greens. Okay, now I'm going to talk about what causes sugar cravings. So the first thing is eating carbs causes cravings for more carbs. So let's just get that one out of the way because it's a vicious cycle. Eat carbs, you want more. You eat more, then you want even more. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, as I mentioned earlier, when you have immune challenges, if you have, let's say, a gut flora imbalance and overgrowth of bacteria, fungus or yeast, or an overgrowth of bacteria, something called SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or you have an infection of any kind, parasites, fungus, yeast, virus, those little critters are going to be asking to be fed. Okay, so my patients that are really struggling with immune challenges are the ones that will wake up in the middle of the night and find themselves in front of the refrigerator wanting to eat something sweet. And that's these little aliens in your body saying, feed me, feed me, feed me. Okay, so, and then if you feed them, you end up feeling worse. So that's one cause of sugar cravings. If you think that you're dealing with that, you really should reach out to me. I'll put the link in the description of the video, drcori.com, and ask for a virtual consult so I can specifically help you with it. Everything I do is very specific. I don't give general global recommendations. I figure out what's going on in your body and what your body needs to fix it. The next cause of sugar cravings is nutritional deficiencies. So if you are not eating enough fat, or you're not eating enough protein, or you're not eating enough minerals, you're not getting enough vitamins, your body will have cravings because your body is trying to send signals for you to feed it what it needs. And many people will misinterpret the signal as wanting sugar. Sometimes salt also. Salt, by the way, is an essential mineral. It's an essential mineral. So if you're salt deficient, you're craving salt, you actually need to eat some good quality salt. But with the sugar, most often you need something other than sugar, right? You can try taking some good quality fat, a fat snack, some avocado, you can make guacamole, you can have some nut butter if you like that, peanut or almond butter. Just make sure there's nothing else in it but the nut itself, preferably organic and fresh. Nuts go rancid, oils go rancid in general. So any kind of good quality fat snack might help you with the sugar craving, particularly if you have a fat deficiency. You can also try a protein snack and just see if it goes away. You can even have a sugar craving when you're dehydrated. So again, you're misinterpreting thirst for wanting to eat sugar. Okay, so try all of those things. If you try to ignore the sugar craving, after a while doing that for a few weeks, it eventually goes away, but you're going to have to start correcting your nutritional deficiencies. Make sure that you're eating macronutrient and very nutrient dense foods. And my whole entire channel is about that. So if you think you're struggling with knowing what to eat, just watch the other videos. But again, I can give you a consult and figure out what it is that you're missing. Particularly minerals. If you're missing minerals in your body, you're going to have sugar cravings. So the next thing that can cause sugar cravings is stress. And now I'm really going to talk about mineral deficiency in relation to stress. So if you're experiencing chronic stress, if you feel stressed all the time, or you feel easily stressed, and you feel stressed even when it seems like there's nothing much to feel stressed about, like you're always on overdrive, your nervous system is on overdrive, your thoughts are racing, you're trying to sleep and you can't fall asleep, you feel anxious, then chances are you're mineral deficient. When you're under stress, whether it's real stress or it's imagined, in other words, you're thinking about something that might go wrong in your life, or you're worrying about something that's not really happening, or you're remembering something bad that happened to you. That's what I mean by imagined stress. Your body needs more minerals. When you're under stress, your organs work harder. And the minerals are like the motor, let's say motor oil that keeps the machines running. Okay, so when your machines are working harder, you need more of the minerals. What are minerals? There's so many of them. There's calcium and magnesium and iodine and iron and zinc and manganese. And there's so many minerals that your body needs. And your body needs all of them. It needs all of them. So when you're under stress, or you're not eating a nutrient-dense diet, or both, you can very well be mineral deficient. In that case, taking some really good quality minerals will help with the sugar cravings, right? So stress causes people to want to what they call stress eat, and it's because they are becoming deficient in nutrients. So at the end of this video, I'm going to let you know my favorite stress mineral. And then lastly, over drinking alcohol can also deplete your body of nutrients and cause nutritional deficiency, but also it puts some stress on your liver, and the liver needs carbohydrates to process the alcohol. So that is why when you overdrink, you have cravings. You want to eat something sweet or eat carbs. That's why that happens. And the people that overdrink because they're stressed, they're in a vicious cycle. They may feel stressed because they're nutritionally deficient, and then they drink to self-medicate to handle the stress and become more nutritionally deficient. So to break that cycle, we need to feed you some good quality, usually minerals. You might need some good quality fats added to your diet to help your body manage stress better. So before I talk about my favorite supplements for helping with sugar cravings, I want to give a shout out to my partner in truth, HATS, which stands for Hardcore Awakened Truth Seekers. And this movement was inspired into creation amidst hyper-political division in the last few years to get away from polarization and bring people together across the political spectrum to the truth and a sense of community that allows us to move forward. This movement is making real strides in this vision. And they have an awesome Telegram channel. I'm just looking right now at how many, right now they have 109,754 subscribers. By the time you watch this, they'll probably have more. So if you're on Telegram, please check them out. They also have an excellent blog with great truth articles, which I'm contributing health articles to. I will put the link to that blog in the description of the video. Go ahead and look at the articles, see if any of them are helpful. And lastly, they have a store, hat store with great merchandise. That's where I got my hats t-shirt and my hats mug. Yeah, I was thirsty. See, I didn't want to get a sugar craving there. And they have a lot of other cool merchandise. They have shoes and they have hoodies and they have household items, all kinds of nice stuff. Just check the store out, please, and check out HATS because they are a wonderful organization. Okay, so now we're going to go to my favorite supplements, and I'm going to be a big girl and use technology and screen share. So let's start with my first one, Inositol. So inositol is kind of a part of the vitamin B complex. It's not exactly a vitamin, but the definition of vitamin is that your body cannot make it, and your body could make inositol, but many people are deficient in inositol. Inositol helps your pancreas to work better. It helps your brain. It makes neurotransmitters, which makes your nervous system run better, but it also stops sugar cravings. It itself is sweet. And if you are having a craving, just eat some inositol, take a tablet, suck on it, or chew on it, and just keep doing that until the craving goes away. You can't overdose on this. This is my favorite supplement company, Standard Process. Everything is made out of food, and you don't have to worry about overdosing. So you just get yourself a bottle of inositol and start popping it until the cravings go away. That's actually what I did when I first started having cravings. Okay, the next supplement that I want to talk about is Mintran. Mintran is my favorite stress mineral. And it is very good for, adults and children. None of these products are high doses of anything, so you don't have to worry about overdosing on it. Sorry. And again, with Mintran, you can just start taking it when you feel stressed until you feel calmer. Some people might feel calmer with one, some people might need a lot more. I have patients that need 20 of them. You figure out your dose. If you want help with me figuring out your dose, we can do that as a virtual consult. But the other thing you could do is take Mintran. If you're feeling stressed, you want to stress eat. Instead of doing that, just take some Mintran and see if it helps you. Give it a little time. Like, you need to give it 20 minutes to get into your blood. All right. The next supplement is called Gymnema. And Gymnema is an herb that actually is really good for diabetics. It actually helps to restore the cells in the pancreas that make insulin. So if you are insulin dependent, or you're trying not to need insulin, if you're diabetic and you're really struggling with controlling your blood sugar, you may want to try taking some Gymnema. It's not the only thing that's good for diabetes, and I have a great diabetes video, which you should watch if you haven't done that yet. But Gymnema also stops sugar cravings. If you suck on it, it will make sugar taste bad. Now, Gymnema is what we call a bitter herb. Okay, so bitter herbs are really good for you. People don't eat enough bitter herbs anymore. A couple of generations ago, they were very popular. They might still be in some countries, but definitely not here in the US. And bitters are good for your digestion. They're good for your overall health. So if you can tolerate sucking on a Gymnema, and you could try this as a game, suck on Gymnema and then try eating sugar, it's not going to taste good, right? So suck on it to your tolerance. I mean, if it's like making you gag, then just swallow it. Okay, good. And then the last one is Cataplex B. And Cataplex B is a form of vitamin B that you need if you're over drinking. Because I can tell you right now that it's very difficult for me to help people that are over drinking without giving them this particular supplement. Cataplex B also is good for your brain function. It's good for energy. It's actually good for your heart. So if you're having sugar cravings and or over drinking, you probably need to get this also. All right. So that's all the information I have for now. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. That is my reward for doing these videos. Do not forget to hit the like button if this information helped you. And last and most importantly, please share this video with anyone that you think would benefit from the information. And I will see you all again very soon. Until then, please stay healthy.